if you have your strategic vision, inclusivity, and organizational culture taken care of, I think
Wow.
you will emerge victor. And
Right.
living with today is living with conscience. That is what galvanizes you to tell you that, okay, you have reached here. Now what? You have to take it forward.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of FaceTime with Leaders brought to you by Directors Institute. I'm your host, Charu Mehra, and today we're in for a truly unique conversation. Now, when you think about leadership, especially in high pressure environments, there are a few who've seen and shaped it in as many ways as our guest today. Joining us is Major General Rajesh Kundra, AVSM and SM, a man whose 38-year career with the Indian Army has not just been about military strategy, but about guiding, mentoring, and inspiring the next generation of leaders in a variety of fields. Major General Kundra, it's a privilege to have you with us today, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Charu. It's my honor to be with you. Thank you.
That's great. So, we're thrilled to have you. With such an extraordinary background, Major General Kundra's journey goes beyond just military command. He's also a passionate scholar in Vedic science and has turned his attention to shaping leadership models based on those timeless principles. We are going to dive into a lot today, from his time leading critical operations to how he's now applying those insights to education, business, and more. So, without further delay, let's get into it.
Thank you, Charu. I hope whatever I speak makes some sense to the people who hear to me. Thank you. Look
I'm
forward for a
looking
conversation.
forward, absolutely looking forward for an interesting conversation today.
Yeah.
So, sir, you led with distinction some of the most challenging environments, and your career speaks volume. I'd love for you to take us through your journey. What inspired you to enter the army and rise through the ranks to such a prominent leadership position? We'd love to hear your story.
The story is actually to start with is a little funny because as when you were a youngster, frankly, you were very carefree, or I was a very carefree guy. And my joining army, I owe it to Bo Derek, the actress who was there for Tarzan the Ape Man. And to see that movie, I have wanted to go down to Delhi. And that's how I filled up my form for Combined Defense Services along with my friends. So that's how I landed in Delhi. And as luck would be, or as destiny, I was the only one selected. All my friends, I went
Wow.
for the interview. Out of 69 guys, that batch, I was the only one selected. And that's how I was in the army. And while traveling to join the academy, that's the first lesson of my life actually, which emerged to me. You know, you meet your destiny on a road which you took to avoid it. You know,
Wow.
your
Wow.
actions are seeds of fate. Deeds grow into destiny. And that is what my learning was as I went along. Because when I appeared for the exam, it was not just that I want to see the movie there. It was there I want to even excel in whatever I was doing. So I worked
Right.
hard. So my actions turned into deed, and that was my destiny. And now actually I turn back, that's my destiny. So that's the first lesson what I learned as I got into the army. The second lesson I would actually I'll speak on certain snippets in my life which helped me grow up to where I am.
Please.
So the second snippet was when we were in 1985. And that's the time the Pakistanis, along with China, was actually trying to come into J&K and occupy the Siachen Glacier area. Because if
Right.
they occupy Siachen Glacier area, the Shashkam Valley would connect China to Pakistan. And
Okay.
that would be
Okay.
very damaging to the security concerns of India.
Right. Right.
So we were picked up and said, okay, you'll have to go down and be there. And this was the first time in the world history that some army was to operate on altitudes like 22,000 feet in
Wow.
minus 50 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
So I volunteered for it, and we went along.
Mm-hmm.
And to be deployed, we were to be trained before that. So certain special equipment was given down to us, like
Right.
skiing and all. So I remember we had gone down to Gulmarg. It was 18th of December 1985 that we went there. And the first time ever in my life, I saw skis. And we were
Wow.
to operate on skis with 40 kgs on your back with
Yeah.
rifle and
Right.
firing, get behind enemy lines and operate behind them. So
Right.
we were there. And I remember first time I wore skis, I couldn't even stand. We were falling down. And it was 7th of January, 1986, when our instructor, who was Havildar Shamsher Singh, who was actually a brutal guy, who really trained us very hard. And he was there, and our boss came in and he says, okay, we got 5 guys out. And said, okay, you 5 guys, you'll be participating in national skiing. He said, what? We just 20 days back couldn't even stand on skis, and you're
Mm.
asking us to now participate in national skiing. So the instructor took us to the side, Havildar Shamsher, and said, sir, don't worry. Just do what I tell you. I'll give you a margin and you just live it up to it. And next day
Right.
I will raise the bar up and you just live it up to it. And that's it. Don't have to worry. We went exactly the way Havildar Shamsher Singh told us.
Mm-hmm.
And 29th January 1986, I remember, we were standing on the start line of 30-kilometer cross-country skiing at the national level.
Wow.
Bullet went through and we rolled across. And my only thought in my mind was that I must enjoy my journey and put in my best. And that is exactly what I was doing.
Right.
As we were rolling across at the fag end of our race, around 30 kilometers as we were closing in. So we were in Gulmarg, and all along the road, there were people lined up and they were cheering up. I was wondering by now the race would have finished because I
Right.
wasn't anywhere in that, reckoning to be coming somewhere in the first, second, third, or somewhere. And I could hear people shouting out my name. Hey, Rajesh, come on, come on. There's a guy ahead. He's on third position. You can get over him. And that
Wow.
galvanized me. I said, no, I got to put in my thing. I started straining myself and I kept moving across. As I moved across, there was a ledge on the right side. And it came to me, if I climb up this ledge and take a jump, I'll
Jump.
be able to get across this guy.
Right.
But danger
Right.
was if I flip and fall, then it's gone. So it
Right.
was, in any case, it was a do or die for me. So I did this, and God willing, I jumped, got my balance back, and that's how I came third. I was
Wow.
standing, I was standing at the podium receiving the bronze medal. I was put as a reserve for Asia to go for the Asia to Japan at Sapporo.
Wow.
The same evening, we were having a little drink together. And that's the time it emerged. How did this all happen?
Happened.
You know, and that's a second lesson of my life which actually emerged to me and that stuck to me as my snippet. And that came in is that learn the art of living in today. If you were living in future or past, it would be fear or anxiety.
I see.
What took away all those things was that I lived in present. And that's
Present.
what instructor taught us. You just do what I tell you today. And
Right.
living with today is living with conscience. So that was
Wow.
my second learning of my life, which actually shaped me in what it is. I'll take you to another incident, which was there in Sonmarg. It
Mhm.
also happened during the similar time in the winters. So Sonmarg is a very beautiful valley. It's like Switzerland. It's a lovely thing. It's a
Right.
massive bowl, and it is connected through a gorge. It's around
Okay.
11 kilometers of long gorge, and it is just around 50 meters to 100 meters in width. That's it. One road
Wow.
and river flows through it. And
Right.
it's got steep mountains. The base is 9,000 feet, and the top goes to a 12 to 14,000 of feet. So you
Oh,
can
wow.
imagine the steepness of the mountains all around.
Right. Right.
And we had to get into the bowl because in winters it snows so much that the whole area gets blocked
Blocked.
and you have to walk across that, and this is a very very avalanche prone area. If you remember, recently the prime minister inaugurated a tunnel. It is that tunnel to cross this 11 kilometers
Oh,
gorge I'm
okay.
talking about.
Okay.
It's the
Okay.
same tunnel which has been
Okay.
now inaugurated.
Mhm.
So I with my team of around 100 people were there in Sonmarg, and we were deployed
Right.
there and doing a training. It was snowing very heavy. And the same evening, my nursing assistant came to me and said, Sir, there's one Jawan who's actually fallen ill and he's having a terrible stomach ache. So I've given him whatever I could do, but he's not stabilizing.
Mhm.
So I looked at the time, it was around 11:30. There was no communication, there were no mobiles and other things on those days. And I couldn't even get a chopper in or some doctors. And so,
Right.
so I had to take a decision.
Mhm.
So I decided, I said, okay, I will lead this team and we'll take him across through this gorge on foot and evacuate him. At
Wow.
night around 12:30, we left that particular place. And I handed over to my second in command, the command. I said, you look after the team here. Now I lead the thing. So we were 10 boys and 4 guys carrying on stretcher and 4 guys beating the snow because soft snow is very
Soft.
difficult to walk on.
Right.
And
Right.
they were beating the snow and we were going across. My focus was only on the top, watching if there's a launch trickling down, is there something coming down, and we kept moving. Somewhere around 4 in the morning, that's a particular time I saw the swirl wind starting off. Because that's
Oh,
the time, the twilight comes in and you could see the top of the
oh,
mountains.
right.
And I could see the swirl of the wind making those icicle swirls. And I was wondering, will this be an avalanche? Will this be an avalanche? And we kept moving, moving till the time I saw one little swirl getting bigger and bigger and bigger
Bigger.
and
Wow.
started rolling in our direction.
Oh,
Seeing that, I knew that we are in the line of this avalanche. And even if we try and get out, we'll not be able to get out.
right.
At the fraction of the moment, I decided, I said, put this guy on stretcher because stretcher had skis. We had those special stretchers
Right.
skis. So
Right.
we put him down on the snow and pushed him down
Push.
so that he gets across this the beat of the avalanche which is coming.
Right.
And we did an avalanche drill, and the avalanche drill is nothing. You just cup your hand in front of your nose so that you keep a cavity. If you're buried, you at least can breathe for some time.
Breathe.
And then
Right.
you have a meter which you switch it on, which gives you radio waves. So the people come to check. That's a time through those radio waves they can find you.
Right. Right.
So we did that thing, and all I remember was this avalanche came and it went over me. I was
Wow.
buried, and all I saw was little white all around. And when it all stabilized, I could see it was white, but I could see some light on the top, which gave me one impression: I wasn't too deep buried.
That right.
I was a little up there.
Up.
So I kept wriggling a bit, and I could hear some sounds coming in, and the people who were there who were not buried. In any case, we pulled each other out and took out. Fortunately, that avalanche was an empty avalanche. It didn't have rocks and trees along with it.
Right.
We quickly looked around for this boy who was down there, picked him
Mm-hmm.
up, went the other side. And when we
Wow.
reached up, he was served with a hot cup of tea and pakoras. So while enjoying the pakora and tea, that's the time my third lesson of my life emerged to me. I was wondering, what was it that we saw the death rolling in front of us and what kept us going? Why the fear of death was not there? And that's the time the third message came to me. It's inclusivity. When
Wow.
you think of yourself, you fear of death. And that's the time you leave everything and your decision making goes awry. It's not very
Wow.
encouraging.
Wow.
And when you think of others, the fear goes away. And when fear goes away, your decision making becomes out of wisdom, of the
Right.
truth intake which comes in from within. And
Right.
that is what actually was my third lesson, which has kept me up. And the last lesson which I would like to share with you is I was commanding a brigade in Tawang. And during that particular thing, in my office, some monks came in and my staff was told, sir, there's some people who have come to meet you and they want to invite you to their school. It's an off-rate school and they want to get you as a chief guest because they're having some function. I said, send
Mm-hmm.
them in. So they told me that that's an orphanage where around 250 children are there and they want me. So I said, sure, I'll be there. I went in there, and the moment I reached the school, the young children from age of from 3 to 4 years, going up to 20, 21 years, they were all there receiving, giving flowers and all. It was a very touching moment, and I went in there. So they were doing this little, drama, dance, and
Mm-hmm.
all happening, the cultural show they were
Culture
presenting.
shows. Yeah.
And I became a little emotional while seeing that. And there was the chairman who was sitting next to me,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Pema Khandu, and he's the present chief minister of Arunachal Pradesh. So he was
Okay.
sitting there with me, and I was enjoying that particular program. And I saw these children, and I became emotional. I turned towards him and said, how sorry, I feel sorry for these children. Look at this, what they should have been and how they are. He turned back, looked at me, and with a stern voice said, "Sir, don't say this. We don't teach our children to be sorry. We tell them,
Wow.
whatever state you are in, you yourself are to be. It is your karma." And that was my fourth lesson of my life.
Wow.
Karma has no menu. You get served for what you have done,
Done.
and it never loses an address. And that was a great learning which I learned, and that has stuck to me. So these are few snippets which I thought I'll share with you, which actually helped me shape up and make me what I am. Thank you.
Wow, sir, that's been so incredible hearing from your own words how you started your journey and what led you to where you are today. And it's a true testament to resilience, leadership, and purpose, sir. And it's also fascinating to hear how you managed to balance both strategy and human resource development in such a high pressure environment. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
So, Major General Kundra. This is a little sensitive topic, the next one, but I'll start with it. So, your involvement with the Taj Hotel terrorist strike operation was a defining moment of leadership. Can you share with us was it like being part of such high stakes operation? What leadership lessons did you take away from that intense experience, and how did you manage to keep your team focused under such extreme pressure?
I think a great thing, and I'm very glad that you asked me this because this particular thing relates with the corporate world. You
Hmm.
know, though I was not part of this operation, but I was part of a team who did a case study on this.
Okay.
Because, frankly, to be truthful, this operation desired a lot to be done.
Right.
Not very many right things happened, and
Right.
so it was a place to learn lessons. So I was put into a team where we did this case study.
Case study.
And
Okay.
while doing the case study, apart from what has happened on the operational side of how it was handled,
Right.
I
Right.
think brilliant thing which came and emerged out of this is for the corporate world to understand.
Mm-hmm.
This was a terrorist strike which happened on Taj Mahal,
Mm-hmm.
but frankly, it came out as a beacon of knowledge out of this. And this is what I'm going to share with you. It was 26th November 2008,
Right.
and it happened. Uh, 10 terrorists who came from Pakistan, total failure. They came through all and no one could trace them. They came up to
Right.
Bombay or Mumbai and they walked into this hotel. And the hotel was bustling with activities at that particular moment. These people with plastic weapons or with plastic explosives, they just went berserk and then entered it.
Mm-hmm.
That particular time, there were 500 guests who were residing at that hotel. There were 600 guests who were there in various restaurants who had come there for the evening.
Right.
And there
Mm-hmm.
was a staff of 600 people who were there in the hotel when this particular strike happened.
Right.
The staff which was there were of an age group starting from 20 years to around 30, 35 years. That was
Mm-hmm.
the range of staff which was there.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all from tier two, tier three cities, majority,
Cities.
except for
Right.
top 2% who were there.
Management.
Balance were all from tier two, tier three cities.
Right.
All were
Right.
the sole breadwinners, the family were waiting home and all those things. And when this terrorist strike took place, guess how many of those guys would have fled or came out of their hotel when this thing happened? Give it a guess, whatever is there.
Mm, at least 50%
Okay. Same thing was done in Harvard. And during the Harvard, the same question was asked.
asked.
I'm copying the same. It's the same question was
Okay.
asked. And there also the audience said it's one third of the people would have fled.
Right.
But to your information, not a single staff element left that particular hotel.
Wow.
They all stood back and their endeavor was to take all the guests
All the
out
guests.
first.
Wow.
Their all efforts were put directed to get the guests out. Even the chefs who were there, because the escape route was to the kitchen and to the rear areas.
Right.
So all the
Right.
chefs who were there, they made a human line, taking the guest out and they put
Ah,
there. And in that process, 5 to 6 chefs lost their life.
lost their lives.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that is the great which actually happened. Out of 1,700 people who were there in the hotel, 1,600 could flee. 100 who
Wow.
were there out of 100, 34 couldn't live to see the next day. And out of 34, majority were the staff of
Ah,
Taj Hotel. It's a brilliant example of what
wow.
crisis management is.
Is
And crisis management
absolutely.
is, yeah, it's identifying, addressing, and resolving. And it's a brilliant concept with which this came. Not
Right.
only that, not only that, there is a sense of inclusivity. There was a strategic vision, and there
Right.
was an organizational culture which actually came about, which I'll tell you. When they recruited the people or the staff, they ensured that the people are from tier two, tier three city. Why? Because people in these cities have got, principle living where they respect their elders. And they, while doing the interview, they would check that what is his attitude towards elders. Because
Right.
if he's respectful them, those are the right people to be in the hotel. And
Agree.
not only that, second thing which actually they created an organizational culture was that they have to be the ambassador to the guest and not ambassadors of the hotel.
The hotel.
Yeah. So I think this particular thing gives out brilliant answers of what crisis management is, how you do it, and how crisis management can be done if you have your strategic vision, inclusivity, and organizational culture taken care of, I think
Wow.
you will emerge victor. What
Wow.
was to dent the image of Taj, frankly, brought in credibility, and that increased the business all across the world for the Taj. I think that's a great takeaway.
Wow, wow, wow. That's so powerful and inspiring, sir. I mean, when people like us who do not know what was the ground, what was the ground reality, when you talk about things that actually went well and what happened, it really inspires us to learn from this experience. That's really wonderful. Thank you so much.
So, Major General Kundra, you've been honored with prestigious awards like Ati Vishisht Seva Medal and Sena Medal, and recognizing not just your achievements, but the profound leadership you've shown throughout your career. I have to ask, what was going through your mind when you received these recognition, and how did those moments shape your approach to leadership moving forward?
Ati Seva Medal and Sena Medal, these are awarded for extraordinary bravery and distinguished service of exceptional order.
Wow.
Frankly, these are very high-sounding words which are there. But when you listen to all this and when you receive this, I think you really get humbled because you know for yourself that you have been lucky enough to be there and receive this because you were not the only one. There's a whole team which worked towards it. And
Wow.
that is what brings in humility, that you are the chosen one who been up there, but there were so many people who were actually carrying you and being
And
with you and brought this day for you. So
wow.
actually, it really is a great amount of humility which comes in. And with humility comes sense of gratitude. Gratitude, thankfulness to the people who were there, who guided us, the people who supported us, the people who went along with us. And not only that, when you receive this particular thing, you also reflect on the sacrifices which were made during that time.
Right.
I may have come out unscathing and been there.
Right.
There have been so many people who have not been able to reach up here. So that's a time. So courage under fire is something which you get reminded of when you look at it. And that's, I think, a very, very great feeling because that is what galvanizes you to tell you that, okay, you have reached here. Now what? You have to take it forward. And to take
Forward.
it forward is for the people who are there all along. And that is what it is comes in. So it's a sense of responsibility and motivation. And it makes you to work further. I've been doing my PhD in Vedic science, and I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to cull out Indian concept of behavioral science based on Vedas.
Right.
And that is where I realized that I need to work on aspect where I can really help bring in a true sense of leadership for my people or around. And I drafted Kip's motivational theory, what I call as
Mm-hmm.
Kundra's Kip's leadership theory.
Okay.
And what is this Kip's theory? Is I like to dwell on it a bit more because this actually motivation came from what you brought in. I got those decorations, and that's what motivated me, and I kept moving up. And this
Right.
is the end result of how I'm taking it forward. And
Wow.
Kip's is a British English word, slang, I would call it. And that
Okay.
means taking a nap or a sleep. So I picked this particular word to say that whatever we are telling you to this, take it, internalize it, understand it. And K stands for knowledge. Now, knowledge is a
Knowledge.
very normal word, but my understanding is that we all live with five senses. Our knowledge sphere is of five senses, how it comes. But when you reach a particular point and you have reached up with using those five senses, now is
Right.
the time to think beyond. So now is the time to understand the science of from five senses to beyond five senses. Now, this science of understanding from senses to beyond senses is what I call as knowledge. If we can pick that up, if we can understand that, that actually brings in wisdom. And once the wisdom dawns on you, once you understand that, and then you turn back and say, my decision with those five senses was this, it'll give you a profound different perspective, which you now can go back and tell the people, and that'll be profoundly great for the thing. Not in the corporate world, you name any sphere, any sphere.
Right.
This
Right.
is, I think, a must. And this is what I call as knowledge.
Knowledge.
KI. I stands for inclusivity. I've already brought out what inclusivity is. And
Right.
inclusivity, like today, the most renowned word is going EWG. What is
Mhm.
EWG? It's nothing. It's inclusivity. And EWG is a very smaller version of inclusivity. It is talking of environment, your social, and governance. That's what
Governance.
inclusivity is talking. But inclusivity is a lot beyond it. And
Right.
that's exactly what to be understood. And inclusivity is such a profound word which has to be understood in depth by any leader. And the
Right.
one who understands inclusivity will never flounder. He will always lead a team to success, which is there. Third comes is P,
E.
is the power of speech. Speech is not what I'm giving right now talking to you.
Right.
This is not the speech
Right.
what I'm referring down. I'm referring down to the speech which has better vibrations. And
Hmm.
how the speech has better vibrations when it emerges from truth, when it emerges from facts which are verifiable in the thing. And when it
Wow.
emerges, the word has a different frequency, and this frequency reaches
Agreed.
the person innately and changes the team which is around you and motivates
Right.
them.
Right. Right.
And the last P is the power of problem solving. The power of problem solving is not about innate standing, oh, you do this, you do that, and oh, we can do that. No. The
Right.
power of problem solving is primarily from the point of view, if I understand the innate myself inward, I'll be able to solve the problem better. Taj
Agreed.
Hotel is one live example of how people solve the problem. Had the staff not worked the way they worked, it would have been a disaster. Look at so many
Disaster. A
people who
lot
have
of
lost.
casualties. Yes.
Exactly. So it was the power of problem solving. And that's the reason I say crisis management understanding. One got to read this case study and understand what really it means. So this is what my understanding is when I got my awards. And this
Awards.
is what I've reached up to. And God willing, uh, I move forward along with it. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, sir. I mean, it's it's your humility that you are, in spite of getting those awards and working for it, you are taking a taking it as a contribution from the team that worked along with you. So that's really wonderful, and I love how you link these recognitions not just to your personal achievement, but also as a source of motivation and responsibility to keep growing and inspiring others. So that's really wonderful.
Thank you.
So, so having navigated both military and civilian leadership dynamics, you've seen truly both sides of the coin. From your experience, what do you think is the biggest difference in how leadership is approached in these two sectors? Uh, and when advising civilian organizations, how do you bridge that gap, especially when military leadership might seem so different?
I'm so glad that you asked this question, because this is something which is very close to my heart. Because, after having hung my boots and came down to the corporate world, and this is exactly what I used to get, not in real terms that coming and speaking to me, but body language and others always say to me,
Absolutely.
yeah, oh, you are from the army, you are to look into security and those aspects. What are you talking of corporate world and all?
Right,
And I'll
right.
take this opportunity, what you have given to me, is to explain what army is.
Mhm.
Do you know army is the biggest corporate organization in the country today? Bigger than any one of them? I'll prove it.
Right.
Army is the biggest supply chain organization. The
Mm-hmm.
supply chain of Army spans from minus 50 degrees Celsius to plus 50 degrees Celsius, from Thar deserts to the forest, the deep forests of the east,
Right.
from bottom of the ocean to the skies, all across. All
Agree.
places the supply chain runs. They know how to do it in whatever environment, in whatever temperature
Right.
it comes in. No
Right.
one can do
Wow.
it better than them.
Wow.
It is the biggest transportation organization. You name a thing they have, not only vehicles, cars, your tanks, or maybe aircrafts and all. You
Agreed.
start, our transportation includes ships, small steamers. Our transportation includes sheets,
Right.
donkeys, horses,
Wow.
elephants. Managing all together is no joke. So Army is one of the biggest transportation organizations in the country. Army is the biggest maintenance firm. Look at the variety of equipment which is there. And they take
Agreed.
it to the war. They have to maintain it to the best of ability. Their
Agreed.
maintenance is fantastic. You name any and everything, it is there with them. It is the
Right.
biggest inventory management, starting from a pin, because soldier has to, sew his button on when he's in the battlefield, starting
Right.
from a pin to aircraft to tanks to
Thanks.
bombs to food to fuel,
Weapons.
you name a thing, and it is part of the
Agreed.
inventory. And
Wow.
not only inventory in all temperatures, to maintain inventory in all temperatures. No
Right.
one does it as what Army
Right.
does. Right?
Right.
It is the biggest telecom sector. You know, we have our own
Agreed.
communication system.
Yes.
And as of today, the far-flung areas which are there, they ride on Army's communication system. The civilian
Right.
rides on Army communication system. So we know it, how it runs, how to manage that particular thing. It's the biggest aviation sector. All airfields now in class A city and B city, it has been taken over by civil aviation. But
Right.
tier 3 and others, it is still managed by Army.
By the Army.
Managed by
Yes.
Army. Whether it's the airfields or it's the fuel, it's management, airspace management, you name, everything is managed by Army.
Right. Right.
It is the biggest medical organization. 134 hospitals all across. These are those permanent hospitals. And whatever field hospital it creates, there's no limit to that.
No limit to it, of course.
And people, they're treating in minus 50 degrees Celsius and going right up to 50 degrees Celsius in those
Right.
areas they're treating. I'll give you my
Right.
example. I suffered a bullet wound when I was there in in J&K, terrorist. And Srinagar hospital, it was a small hospital. It was just 30-bedded hospital which was there. There were 2 operation theaters. And all the people who have suffered, like me, I had a bullet wound, there's another guy, and also we were lined up like that. And we were on stretchers waiting for us to be put into the operation theaters. And there
For
were
your
set of
turn, right.
doctors who were operating. There were 2 set of doctors will do, they'll move, then another guy will come and another set of doctors will come. And that's what we were doing. So I was waiting for my line to get into the hospital. To the thing, I was writhing in pain. And all of a sudden, one BSF Jawan comes in and they say, oh, he's critical because he got a shell which went through his heart here, close to the heart.
Okay.
So he was
Right.
critical. So he was put there. And the beauty is we all walk back home healthy in matter of 20, 25 days. That's the greatness of the medical service of the Indian Army. It's the
Yes.
biggest education sector. Do you know that? 139 Army public schools, 250 primary schools, and 12
Wow.
professional colleges. And professional colleges are college, law college, engineering, medical, you name a thing. All of them are being run by the
Right. Right.
It's the biggest construction company. Roads, tunnels, bridges, tanks, runways, you name everything. All cans are like Eden Garden in a city.
Wow.
They are the best. Who has done it? Army does it. It's the biggest retail organization. Biggest retail organization. The canteen services, the CSD, as what we refer to them as.
Right.
15,000 crores is the turnover, serving 13.5 million people all across the country, which is there.
Wow.
Financial management. Its budget is $75 billion annually. If I have to put in rupees, 6.27 trillion rupees annually. And Army is one of the best organizations managing its budget and finishing up. It never turns into a rollover.
Right, right.
And obviously, it's the largest army or the second largest army. And if you have to put it in the power index, it is the 4th in the power index. It's got 1.4 million army. Best way to manage a human resource. No one can talk better than the army. And not only this, the leadership spans from the corridor of power in Delhi. You know, being in Delhi and working with ministers and bureaucrats and IFS officers and taking the leadership to the forefront and fighting it there. That's the span of leadership, what it does. All what I told you is what Army does as a multi-force. And mind you, what I told you is a secondary job. The primary job is to fight a battle in war.
Agreed.
And Army has never let the nation down. Why? Because it does a secondary job well. If your secondary job is not good, you can never reach up in the primary job, right? And this is for the corporate world to understand. Never take an Army guy to say, oh, he doesn't know things.
No.
In your lifespan, you have done everything, financial management to maintenance to supply chain, you name a thing, education, you name a thing. I've forgotten one thing. That is the military farms. Even we go into the areas where we're growing our food and
yes.
So please treat them well, take them, exploit them. They're jack of all. They're jack of all. Maybe masters, some, but definitely the jack. And the jacks will pick it up and take it forward. And that's what is my little take on Army.
Oh, that's
Thank
such
you.
a fascinating perspective, sir. And it really shows that leadership, shares similar principles despite different contexts. You just have to know what to use when. So that's really wonderful. And I'm sure your experience in both realms must have shaped a unique way of leading view on leading people, right?
That's true. Thank you.
So, so as someone who's constantly evolving, I'd love to hear about your future aspirations. Where do you see yourself in the few years? Do you have any ambitions related to boardroom leadership?
Uh, you know, uh, as far as this is concerned, as an overall first I talk of, is I want to be a man of change. That's what it is. Reaching up, I have to be here, I have to be there. No, that's no more my little aim. My aim is to bring in a change where I'm there,
Wherever
to
you
bring in a
are.
change for a better, whether
Wow.
position or no position. And coming down to boardroom, because that is something I'm doing my course here. And so the boardroom does become important to me and look forward to being part of the boardroom. But I'm not looking forward to acquiring a position there. I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to bring in a change there. And the change element which will bring in a change is what I feel is ethics.
Oh,
It lacks is ethics.
agreed.
Today, like yesterday, 2 days back only, it was in the news about this Blue Smart, which is there. Meteoric rise and fall. Why?
Right.
Because of ethics, which is there. You talk of Chiquita Band or Lehman Brothers or Royal Bank of Scotland, you name anything. There's so many of them which are there, which are all had great rise and fall
And then
because of
fall.
the ethics.
Ethics.
And today, you look the world around, everything is going wrong because of ethics. And
Agreed.
ethics is not just one word. Ethics is a concept which you have to bring in. You have to
Right.
bring in and weave it into the DNA of an organization. An organization automatically will stand up and say, oh, we can
Agreed.
walk in. And this is
Agreed.
what I want to be. In the boardroom, I want to get ethics. The study shows that 70% of the consumers blindly go to a firm which has been listed in the ethical companies, right? In the share market, the companies which are listed in the ethical companies do far better than any one other organizations. In Harvard, they had carried out a study and they said the CSR, who do it rightful CSRs, the companies,
Right.
they have
Right.
an X factor which actually pronounces and takes them way ahead, head over
Wow.
heels over the others,
Mhm.
right? So not only this, the employees retention and the customer loyalty, it is all based on ethics. Like Tata is one little thing where I can talk of as part of ethics.
Right.
Very rarely do you find a guy joining and then leaving soon and going to another place. They join and retire without thinking a second thing. You say, oh, Tata guy, I can buy it. So this is exactly what ethics is, and ethics is what it is. And to my mind, as independent directors, this is the prime duty of independent directors
Mhm.
to bring in this culture of ethics, which is there.
Right. Right.
And to my understanding, ethics is not uh, a word ethics, it's spirituality. And spirituality, like I told you, it's for me, spirituality is not metaphysics, Atma, Paramatma, Puja. No. For me, spirituality is understanding the science of physical to beyond physical. Once you understand this beyond physical, you come up to wisdom. And when you reach the wisdom, automatically ethics become part of your DNA.
Part of. Mhm.
You know, it becomes part of your self character. And this
Right.
is exactly what I want to propagate down as I go along in my journey, whether it's in the corporate world or normal or whatever it is there. And I have found a phenomenal change in my understanding. And this is what I want to propagate down and give it to others.
Wow, wow, that's really inspiring to hear, sir. And I'm sure that with your military experience, your leadership skills, and your values, you will have an incredible impact in your journey in the boardroom on the organization. So I wish you all the best for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, Major General Kundra, throughout your distinguished career, you've had strong focus on compliance and legal matters, which is such a vital aspect for any organization. And today, with the increasing importance of, we talked about it, ESG, environment, social, and governance factors, leaders have even greater responsibility to shape the ethical and compliance culture within their organizations. So you did talk about ethics a little right now, but from your experience, how do you see the role of leadership evolving in this space?
ESG has become a very talked about subject all across. And to me, ESG is nothing very great. It's part of the inclusivity what I've been talking.
Right, right,
Inclusivity with ethics is what ESG is all about. ESG, which is all about. Leaders today are not only custodians of compliance. They are visionaries who integrate ethics with this ESG into a DNA of the organization. That
right,
is what is
right.
my understanding is. Environment, social governance are all known facts. Environment, obviously, you can't, you got to work on energy efficiency, resource management, and biodiversity and other things. In social sector also, you got to treat people equally, employ and leader relationship and all. And
Right,
governance, the firmness and, with compassion, these are all part of it. But how do you bring it to it? That is what my understanding is, because these are very simplistic terms, and
right.
terminologies do become a talk because something new comes in and the people start talking about it
Yeah, agreed.
without giving much of relevance that frankly this is already there. You should be working towards it,
Right,
and that's what
right.
the thing is. And that's where my KIPS theory or Kundra's KIP theory comes in. That is nothing but working towards ESG. Knowledge, right? Inclusivity,
Inclusivity,
power of speech,
power of
and the
speech,
power of
and
problem
problem
solving.
solving.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So this is nothing but an together thing. And let me bring out one thing more. Army does a fantastic thing of ESG. Of how they bring in. And one simple concept they have is Sar Dharm Sthal.
Oh,
You know, in every unit, there is one place. It is not Mandir, Masjid, or Gurdwara. They say Sar Dharm Sthal. And
Sthal.
at one place, you have Mandir, Gurdwara, Masjid, Christianity, whatever is there. And all are together placed. There are no partitions there. Why? They're all placed together. And everyone comes and attends that. Why? And that's what actually brings in social equality. And when social equality comes in, the environment changes. And when
Right.
environment changes, automatically the governance becomes easier. So one
Agreed.
small thing brings in so many things, intangibly into an organization. So there's so many other things which can be added to it. So
Agreed.
ESG should not be spoken in the terms the way it is spoken. We must
Mhm.
look into the aspect how small things can integrate
Can
things together.
integrate it. Right, right. Wow, and I couldn't agree more with that. It's clear that role of leaders today has expanded well beyond the tactical to something much deeper, where ethics and governance, must be woven into every aspect of an organization. So, and organizations which integrate ESG into their DNA definitely have an edge over the others. So that's also there. So, sir, you've recently joined Directors Institute. That's a platform that shapes leaders for the future. I'm really curious to hear about your experience there. How has it been so far, and how has this opportunity influenced your perspective on leadership?
Yes, independent director course actually, I joined because to understand the terminology and the glossary of the corporate world. Because,
Corporate world.
yeah, so you come from the army, certain different terminology like ESW and all G, which is there. These are so well spoken, and you say, oh, this guy is intelligent. So to understand the glossary which is there is one of my motivation to join this course. And I must admit one thing here, or rather I'll put it, my experience or what I have gained through or come after having joined the independent director course is it's a very honest and a well-crafted course. It galvanizes leader to be leader of substance. I think this
Wow.
is puts up the whole context in one line,
Wow.
and that's what is there. And I want to be the man of change, like I told you at the very onset. And this is a platform which gives me knowledge. It gives me a platform to work on. It also gives me connections and helps me propagate what I want to do. And I think
Right,
no other
right.
platform could have done this as beautifully you have crafted and put it across together. And it leads or leaves on people like us to exploit this particular platform. And I'm here to exploit it and take it
Wow.
forward and be the man of change. Because for me, relationship is not momentarily with independent director course. It's a lasting
Awesome.
impact which we got to create together. That's it.
Wow, that's a wonderful feedback, sir. Thank you so much for that. And it's incredible to hear how Directors Institute is providing you with a fresh perspective, given your rich experience across different sectors. So thank you so much. And I hope this curriculum, the way it has been designed, it's able to help you achieve the goals that you've set for yourself. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, Major General Kundra, this has been an absolute honor, sir. Your journey, your leadership insights, and the depth of your experiences are nothing short of inspiring. And it's clear that your work is leaving a lasting impact, whether in the military or in the corporate world. And we're truly grateful for the time that you've shared with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You motivated me to talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's been a privilege. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. We hope today's episode gave you some valuable insights into leadership, resilience, and the power of lifelong learning. If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. We'll catch you up next time with more inspiring stories. Until then, take care and keep leading the way. Thank you.
Jai Hind.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. Jai Hind, and it was really nice talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you.